Welcome to Week 8 of the Charlotte Preps.TV High School Football Report, powered by Ortho Carolina. I'm Tripp Roakes, and I'm here again today with Tim Winters to talk about all the action from this past weekend, look ahead to next weekend, and then unveil our Ortho 8 rankings of the top 8 teams in the Mecklenburg and Union County areas. Speaking of Union County, Tim, I know you were at a big game on Thursday night at Weddington.
Yeah, rain-soaked Weddington Stadium. Weddington Warriors, continuing that tough defense this season, shut out Charlotte Country Day 31-0, in the process holding the Buccaneers to 5 first downs in the whole game, 99 yards of total offense, and in the process, Keith Duncan, the kicker for Weddington, nailed a 48-yard field goal in really bad conditions. That is his 37th of his high school career. That ties the state record, and he's got about 5 more games in the regular season to smash it. So congratulations on a big victory for the Weddington Warriors on Thursday night. And Tripp, you had that conference game over at Charlotte Latin.
Really a big-time game, and as they usually do, special teams came into play as Charlotte Christian rolled over Charlotte Latin on Friday night. After scoring early with a field goal, Charlotte Christian's Grant Armistead rushed in to block a Charlotte Latin punt attempt. His successful play led to a turnover and a 3-yard touchdown run by Justice Woods. The game continued in a pouring rain with both teams holding steady on defense. Latin managed to cut the lead to 10-7 when Bates Jones found Hunter Sheridan for a 44-yard touchdown just prior to halftime. Grant Armistead struck again in the third quarter when he intercepted a pass and returned it to the Latin 29-yard line. Justice Woods would once again run the ball in for another touchdown. The Christian defense held steady for the remainder of the game and racked up the victory over Latin. Chances are these two teams will meet again in the state playoffs, as they so often do. Tim, there were 2 other big games involving Union County teams this weekend. Why don't you tell us what happened in those?
Yeah, Porter Ridge hosting Independence on Thursday night. It's been a couple of rough seasons for the Pirate fans, and it continued on Thursday night with their struggles against Independence, losing 18-7. Now, Porter Ridge will actually have their best chance to win a game next week or this upcoming Friday night when they host Garinger, who is also winless on the year. And the best story in the county this year, in my estimation, is the Piedmont Panthers, led by Coach Luke Hyatt, his first year coming out of Anson High School. Piedmont is averaging over 300 yards on the ground per game. They run that double wing offense, and it's been hard to stop for most oppositions, continuing that very strong running attack. They defeat West Stanley 49-14, and now Piedmont moves on to 5-1 on the season. Tripp, you had that big game between 2 close rivals, East Meck and Butler. Tell us about that matchup.
Well, of course, you can never count out a well-coached football team in what looks to be a mismatch on paper. We learned this Friday night as the East Meck Eagles out-executed the heavily favored Butler Bulldogs en route to a 10-7 win. With rain-soaked fields all around Charlotte, both teams made the escape to Garinger High School for an artificial turf surface. Butler took a 7-0 lead, but could never add points to their side of the scoreboard after that touchdown. With the game winding down, East Meck's Aaron Walker scored on a 7-yard touchdown run. East Meck managed to get possession of the ball once again, and with just over 2 minutes to go, Christian Thomas hit the biggest field goal of the season to put East Meck up 10-7. Coach Barry Schufer's defense held true, and with no time remaining on the clock, the East Meck Eagles had defeated Butler High School 10-7 for their 3rd win in the last 4 games. Big hats off to the Eagles for working hard for Coach Schufert and earning themselves a big victory over the heavily favored Bulldogs. There are a lot of good, deserving folks over at East Meck, and I salute the Eagles for this big win. Ortho 8, our rankings of the top 8 teams in the Mecklenburg and Union County areas. Tim, we tallied the votes. Tell us where we ended up.
Yeah, Coach Estep's Charlotte Christian Knights coming in at number 8 at 4-2. Number 7, the Huff Huskies at 5-1. Followed by Weddington coming in at number 6 at 5-1. Coming in at number 5, South Meck at 5-0. The Monroe Redhawks 6-0 and the number 4 slot. The Vance Cougars coming in at number 3 at 5-1. Charlotte Catholic giving up only 20 points on defense, 3 shutouts, 5-0 at the number 2 slot, and the Mallard Creek Mavericks, number 1 for the 3rd consecutive week at 6-1.
Tim, it's kind of hard to believe we're in the second half of the high school football season now. Why don't we talk about a couple of games we want to see this weekend? What do you have your eye on?
Yeah, we have the first matchup in conference play for the Southern Carolina Conference. Marvin Ridge at 3-3 will be traveling to Cuthbertson High School. Cuthbertson expecting the return of Austin Kendall, who has missed the last 2 weeks with the back injury. They are also 3-3, so it should be a great game at Cuthbertson Stadium on Friday night. The other really big matchup is Piedmont High School at 5-1, the surprising team in the county. They will be traveling to Sun Valley. Sun Valley at 3-3. They have that great young quarterback Sam Howell, the freshman. So it'll be interesting to see if that offensive running game for Piedmont will be able to continue their ways against Sun Valley and that explosive air attack. Should be really exciting. And Tripp, tell us about your matchups.
Well, I think you have to keep an eye on a rivalry game up north with Mallard Creek and Huff. Those two teams, whenever they get together, you know they're going to play hard, try to come out on top, and see if Huff can pull an upset. Then you've also got to take a look, I think, at the Davidson Day Charlotte Country Day game. I think it's going to be really exciting. Coach Chad Greer up at Davidson Day has another outstanding team, and they've moved up a level in the private school rankings. So I think you've got to take a look at that game. And then, of course, if you're a fan of high school football, all we ask is that you get out on Friday night and support your local team, have a great time at the ball game, and take your families out there. So until we meet again, from all of us at the CharlottePreps.tv High School Football Report, powered by Ortho Carolina, we appreciate your support. Have a great week.